I'm about to make a song called Tidal Wave. Should I do it right now? I'll see you at the crib too. I bet. Yeah. Shoot your shot. Ball don't lie, the ball don't lie. Hey, hey, hey. Ball don't lie, the ball don't lie. So shoot your shot. Yeah. Ball don't lie, the ball don't lie. Just shoot your shot. Yeah. Never has. I like it a lot. Yeah. I got the rock in my hand, bitch. So we got a shot. They don't speak my language. We don't gotta talk. We been gone for days and it don't gotta stop. I like it a lot, like it a lot. Shoot your shot. I need space. Today we have an interesting dynamic for our show, guys.
Back to business. Hey, how are you?
Yeah, hey, how are you? We need to do also, hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you is the fastest growing trend in the Stevenson Ranch household, that's for sure. I think we were obliterated drunk at like 7 a.m. riding birds. Probably could have caught dewies if we were on, I don't know. Can you catch dewies on birds?
Not a chance. I was perfectly sober.
Yeah, you were perfectly sober, yeah. Why are you so good at riding birds?
I love the bird. I'm a big bird
why though?
enthusiast. I think it's maybe it's a little bit of the danger of just getting smacked by a nice Prius, but no, like I rode one here. I like it better than sometimes getting
Kilmer
an
texted
Uber.
me, he's like,
yeah, me and Kilmer cross each other on birds.
That's
just
hilarious.
Cruising in downtown
You
Nashville,
were on a bird too?
Out of nowhere. Kilmer, hey, how are you?
Did you get, hey, how are you? Did you get my hey,
Yeah, how are you, Kilmer?
I love that. But the day we go over to eat, 7 a.m.
I really did veto Kilmer's. He's like, yo, I'm gonna get some food. You wanna get some food? Yeah, we take like one block. And I'm like, I'm gonna go to Taco Bell Cantina. I hit the Taco Bell right here. I love it, man. They got live music in there.
Fucks.
If you haven't seen the Taco Bell Cantina, highly recommend it. Check it out.
I want to get your temperature on this. What do you think about my album release party at Taco Bell Cantina?
I don't know why you'd have it anywhere else.
Exactly. My exact sentiment.
It's a little small.
Listen though.
Tight space.
I was just gonna say, I went over there, right? The door, the big window, opens, so you could literally turn and I could play to the whole street.
I like that.
And then maybe we cause a commotion. Maybe I get arrested for disturbing the peace.
Maybe you
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems for you. I mean, and this is the old adage: any press is good press.
Yeah.
So.
I will say I'm on probation, so maybe we should look into that.
I was saying you did have an incident where
I did have an incident.
You already have been there. Jail is the college days, waking up after the first time you maybe get a. I was a big minor in possession guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my offense in college was walking into a bar at 18, have stamps all over your hand, straight to the bathroom. Gotta go. It's gotta go. Scrape it off. Find a way to get around it. Maybe head to the bar. Order a drink.
Didn't have a fake.
Get caught with no, not for a while. It's I didn't have the older brother that looked like me that was had already gone through and it can do the old ID pass back. And,
Yeah.
Came across one in college early on, but. Those things have a shelf life on them that's pretty low if they're not. You
were saying
good
you order 3 at a time or something?
Yeah, they had all. I went through maybe every way to try and find a fake ID whenever I was in college. It was the hottest thing going.
After the freshman year. I mean, that was your redshirt freshman year.
It was mostly probably before I ever even really played.
After
My
that,
first year on
it's
campus,
not like you could like sneak by people and be like.
I graduated early and. All of the stuff didn't happen until the following, August.
Right.
So I had a good, year and 7-8 months.
Looking back
on campus.
Looking back, the year. So you had a whole year at school. Hey, how are you?
Nice.
You had a whole year at school on the football team as a red shirt, where you were essentially like. No one gave a shit about you. You could fuck around and go do whatever, and like people weren't like, "Yo, it's Johnny Manziel." You know what I mean?
And looking back on it, I think I was really, really bad at football back then. Like I was.
What the hell happened?
I don't know, man. So a switch just kind of flipped and things started to change. It's a game of confidence, as anything else is. As being a pitcher, when you were in high school or in college, you have to have confidence that you're a fucking bad dude.
Facts.
that you have to have this aura about you that you're the fucking man and you got to
How
rock
did that
with it to be
happen,
good. You start getting some things going. You start seeing the field better. You start playing a little better and gaining confidence bit by bit. And I think a lot of it is understanding, a system in the football world that fits you. And my first year at A&M, we had a different coach, and his system was really pro style and didn't fit me and what I had been good at in high school. And getting a new coaching staff and having a system come in that fit me, where I could run around and do things that I was really, really naturally good at, made it easier. And the longer I was in that system, I continued to get more confidence in it and continued to learn it to a point of where, I know that offense like the back of my hand to this day.
And you were also a kid, so you probably had a bit of physical transformation where you just leveled up.
Yeah, I mean, the more time you spend in a college weight room and in a college program, it's really, really good at what they do at turning high school guys into fucking beasts.
And looking back, when you talk about how much fun you had, was that freshman year when you were a nobody? Were you fucking? Were you just living it up as a regular college student? Or
No,
what was
I was
going on?
probably a dork that didn't know how to get in anywhere and was just a guy on the football team and really worried about going to class and trying to do things.
So that was you freshman year?
Definitely when I got there. I was a little fish in the big pond, man. I didn't.
I'm trying to imagine.
I didn't know what the fuck I was at all.
So were you running it up or no? You weren't really running it up?
Best as you could.
Yeah.
In your apartment.
Just drinking fucking,
Be having a house
beers
party
at the house.
once every month.
Yeah. The athlete parties are hilarious. When you mentioned confidence, I don't know if I've ever really said this, but after I got injured, I mean, I had not even close to the amount of people that cared about college baseball, but I had a really incredible freshman year. It was kind of almost random, almost like a godsend. All right, this is the last time you're gonna be good, because things just went my way. I also had a physical improvement. I started throwing a lot harder, But when I look back at that, it's just I don't know if I ever really in the grand scheme of things, I don't know if what the fuck was I? I forgot what I was just gonna say. What the hell was my point? What was my point?
You gotta love it.
No, confidence. So when I think back to that freshman year, I had a lot of things go my way where it was just almost like a godsend, this was gonna be my last hurrah, and it was the last time I was healthy. But when I think back and coming back from the injury, I completely lost my confidence. Completely. Just sitting out and watching my teammates play and watching the games, I started to think about it. I started to think about oh, what are they doing? Why is he, how's he having this success? Looking at the other guys pitching and what they were doing and game planning, where that's not how I pitched. I was just I just went out there and attacked and threw. I didn't really think and think about what I was doing with my mechanics. I'm spending all my time in the fucking mirror, doing air fucking mechanics. You know what I mean? I had turned into this whole different guy. And my dad actually said it to me some years after it passed, and it was the first time I really thought about it and realized that I wasn't even aware of the mental side really. I just knew being a dog was just knowing you were the best. That really helped, obviously, and that's what made you great. But I didn't know how to work on my mental. I had lost track of who I was and what made me good. And I wonder because I always say oh, my arm didn't work again, never worked the same. But I just wonder, I remember throwing and pitching and just not feeling the same, but I wonder how much of it was really a head thing, and I think as I've ironically gotten very much into the power of the mind and how you have to really manage your thoughts to be great at something. And I had completely lost, it went off the rails mentally, And you said something on Bussin' with the Boys a few weeks back where you were talking about how you kind of lost confidence in your ability. When did that happen? When you talk about your actual ability to play the game of football, where was that? Was that when you got into the league and it was a high level of play?
Yeah, no, I don't think it had anything else to do with the play. I don't think it had to do with the guys that were around, because there were times where I think I showed good flashes, but I just, there was a sense of doubt that crept into my mind for the first time. And a lot of it came with just dealing with the pressure and dealing with everything that was around it. And I have no shame or no even second thought about calling it what it is, because it's just heavy. And it's if your mind's not right and your mental's not right and you aren't savagely focused on taking care of yourself and your mind and everything that comes with it, it'll eat you alive. And you spend every hour of every day of every week of your life in your head dealing with this, how you're looking at things, perceiving things, seeing things. This is something that it's everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it in order, and if you have it in a place to where doubt can easily creep in and you can second guess yourself and it plays tricks on you, you'll find out a hard way. And I remember going down a hole and getting my mind into a place where I didn't know if I was ever going to pop out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was ever going to have good sunny days again. I didn't know if I was ever going to have happiness or something that I wanted to go out and achieve, or
Was this why you were still active?
I mean, this was a long period of the last 6 or 7 years of my life, and definitely in spurts. And I would only pop out of that for moments here and there when I somehow able to escape it. I definitely didn't know how I got out of it. I just would catch some type of wave and crawl out of it and then crash even harder, coming back from it the second time.
At this time, you didn't have any awareness on how to manage it or how to get it back, or
Not what I know now. I think I didn't know myself to a point of what really made me tick, what was good for me and what was bad for me, and was easily influenced by a lot of people around me.
Yeah.
If you hang around shit long enough, you're going to get some on you. And I think for a long time I was hanging around bad people, and it was, my mind was easily manipulated. And, it all comes back to not knowing myself and letting this get a little weak.
And you have that, like, even to this day, we talked about last episode, like, you have that friendly bone where you just, like, kind of open arms to people, and you let them right close to you. And I've always noticed that you always had new people I didn't recognize around you in those days, and so it was like a moving, just a wide. You still have a lot of friends, but that's just innately in you, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to be trusting. You want to trust first. That's the way you want to lead your life. But when you're doing the wrong things, and you're on a low frequency, we talk about it, you're gonna attract that type of shit. So yeah, I think you're attracting some of the wrong people for sure at that time. It is what it is.
Yeah, you live and you learn, man, and everything. And still even to this day, there's mistakes that are made throughout my week daily, every single day, multiple times a day. And it's just a way I live my life now to, try and ask myself for forgiveness on those things and continue to work on it and try and ensure that it doesn't happen again. But life is it's all about failing and continuing the process of doing that and trying to learn from it and better yourself from it.
Yeah, 100%.
Still learning through the life, it's a nonstop process of learning yourself and how to, act in different situations.
I tweeted something about this. I told you I was in the trenches, and I tweeted something about this today. It's ironic how we become unhappy when we're faced with challenges, when in reality they're a big part of what life is. Whenever one's solved, a new one will surface in due time. Challenges don't bring the unhappiness, though. The expectation we have that life should be easy does.
Yeah.
And I was watching Eckhart Tolle. He wrote The Power of Now. He's a genius. He's the best. I love him. But that's what I do. I go to the spiritual content when I feel like I'm low, and it helps bring me out. And usually there's points I just really connect with, and that was part of it. But we have this expectation as humans. I talk about getting trolled and like when things aren't going my way and why can't they do it the way they're supposed to or whatever. That's where the problem lies. The expectation, the perspective. You know what I mean? Like that. My problem is that I'm looking at it expecting everything to go my way.
Of course.
Why? Why? When obviously I've lived life long enough to know that there's challenge after challenge after challenge, and all the sayings like that's life. That's what that's life means. It's like there's always going to be the tide coming in, the tide coming out. Things are going to go your way for a bit. They're not going to go your way for a bit. But really, if you just have a perspective switch where you're like, and I I'm not preaching because right now, to this day, I literally yesterday had to look at my perspective and be like, that's garbage. You know what I mean? I'm not even practicing what I talk about on the podcast because I was looking at it from a woe is me, you know, talking about how selfish you have to be to really be down deep in the, really deep down on yourself and down on life. It takes a bit of there's a bit of nihilism in that. There's a bit
Why
of.
should you expect life to go perfect there, though? Nobody's.
We have no reason to.
Nobody's does, and I don't know what it is, and it's, you know, throughout my day and my week, I have to check myself and self-talk and figure out, you know, what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and what my expectations are for myself. For me in golf, that's extremely, extremely hard. I don't know why I expect to take a month off of golf and then come back and play and act like I'm supposed to be the best. And it's just
crazy
personal expectations I set for myself, and it's good to have high ones, but at the same time have realistic ones or ones that you can continue to try and, you know, set further and further. But knowing yourself enough to, you know.
It's knowing yourself, but it's also just like, it's a blanket perspective switch, and it's really, we're just not wired. We're wired to want everything to be cushy and comfortable as humans. But it's like, if you can, I don't know, I'm working at it. I think in some time I can get there where it's just like, whenever something bad happens right away, you're like, oh yeah, you know, we're due for one, you know? Or,
I rock and roll with everything. I know there's gonna be things that come my way, and, you know, I even have self-talk with myself and say this is a day that's gonna be a test. I'm getting tested today, and I know it. I know this day is out of the ordinary. I know when I woke up this morning, I didn't have it in me when I opened my eyes and rolled over.
Yeah.
I maybe just don't have it that day. But I try to tell myself and allow myself to know that I'm being tested and to go through it and fight a little bit harder to get through the trenches.
Fire. You're a smart kid. You're a smart guy, buddy. Even though you're not great at beer pong. Let's get into the questions. We're excited to get into this next phase. We got some segments. Being rolled out. And I want to start with what I'm really excited about is having our Ball Don't Lie listeners, Steve Meisters, or we gotta come up with a name for Johnny's fans. We'll troubleshoot it, but we'll brainstorm it. Nah.
You know,
Dirty Mike.
Dirty Mike and the boys.
Dirty Mike and the boys. And we're also, you know, I'm really excited about this, just opening up a layer of this to give y'all access to Johnny, or if you want to ask me a question, I don't know why you would. Pretty much know everything about me at this point. But yeah, man, we're gonna have some people send in some questions. Let's get into the first one, Steve-Os.
Cheers. Hey, what's up, boys? Cheers. My name's Cole Wright from Fort Worth, Texas, born and raised. Living in the Virgin Islands now, diehard Aggie. Just want to send some love and good vibes your way. Couldn't be more thankful for what both of you guys are doing. Big role models for me. You know, I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. My question is, maybe a topic of conversation. What kind of advice or words of wisdom or stories do you guys have for the people that are ready to take that next step in their life when it comes to, you know, wanting to follow a passion, a creative endeavor, you know, start a business, whatever it is that those challenges that they're facing. I guess when it comes to insecurities, fear, maybe family pushing back on them. What are some things that you know, you can say that will, you know, from your life experience that will help them push through and break those barriers? So, yeah, thank you guys. Much love, always. Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Sick.
I got fucked.
Sick. That's awesome. Step one is you have to find out what you want to do and where you want to go with it and what you have a passion for. With that, you know, for me in my life at least, you know, I take advice from my parents. I take advice from my family and the people that are around, but the majority of the decisions that I make are sponsored by what I believe in and what I know to be true in my life and what I want to do and where it's going. Yeah. So for me with the golf stuff, this is something what I want to do. And, you know, critics and fear and doubt are there no matter what. Are you going to make it? Is this actually going to work? If you believe in yourself enough and believe in what you're doing enough, you know, you can make anything work. This is a beautiful country and a beautiful place to be that where, You have the opportunity, if you want to work at anything for the most part, if you put enough time and work your ass off on it enough, music, sports, whatever it is, even creating a business. If you work hard enough at it and you do it and you go put in the work, good things usually happen. And so I'm good on it. And, the fear and everything else that comes with it, that's a part of it. Yeah. You just kind of got to revel in it.
Yeah. I have an interesting point, and it's a bad example for you and even for me a bit, but mainly for you, just because you actually do have a bunch of people that give a fuck, and like it's at a broad scale. Like when you get to a level of fame and people paying attention and knowing who you are and people invested, whether it's fans of the teams or whatever, you have an absurd amount of people, very rare amount of people that are interested and give a fuck. My point is this. No one gives a fuck. Everyone who's on fucking planet Earth, whether they look like it or not, is going through something. And everyone's so in their own head about they're thinking about everything going on in their lives. They don't give a fuck what's going on in your lives. If the pressure, everyone's like, yo, I see this shit on Instagram, like, yo, thanks to the haters, like, just regular people saying this shit, and it's just like, even that perspective itself, like, I get that you use it as fuel, but it's just like, it's already leaning or coming from a negative place. In the sense of like a perspective shift, no one gives a fuck. Unless you're like an A-list guy or like very popular person, like no one's even fucking giving any thought because they're just so wrapped up in their own shit. Like they wanna, your parents, like of course, they wanna see you succeed and be happy, and there's probably some ego in that. The parents, oh, my kid's doing well and he went on to do this or that, it makes them feel good and it affirms that they did a good job as parents. Ton of ego in that. Really, your parents, bro, at some point, our parents die. Like, we're gonna die someday. At one point, we're gonna be alone. Like, you're gonna be alone. Like, your mom and dad, you're gonna be the oldest in the family. You're gonna be the leader. You know what I mean? And when they're gone, what the fuck does it matter if they agreed with your decision when you were 23?
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. And most people are wrapped up in caring about this shit, and it breeds this fear and like this illusion of like, oh, I gotta be careful. Like I have to have this perfect track record in life so no one's judging me, and like, ooh, the people back at fucking 2 kids that bullied me back in the day, like they're watching, I gotta succeed, fuck you guys. Like it's just not, no one's even thinking about it. They don't give a fuck. No one cares.
A lot of the stuff that you think of public perception of other people and none of it really matters at all.
It doesn't
you
matter.
Couldn't be more right. It's all a facade. Do what makes you happy. Do what you want to do. Do your own path. I like that I like that I'm different.
Yeah.
I like that I'm off the path a little bit and think a little bit differently and do shit differently.
Yeah.
I know what I believe in. I'm very
your life's gonna be a lot more interesting for being who you are.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'll take the dots. I'll take the spots on the past. I'll take it all. I'll take it all in stride.
I don't
hide from shit, man.
Yeah.
Every little thing, good, bad, failure, this, that. Fuck it, rock with it. Let's roll.
And the same thing we said on the last episode in regards to his question, it's just like Jim Carrey's speech, when you could fail at doing something you don't like. So you gotta fail going for it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be, again, it's your life, man. Like, you could be.
Yeah, own it.
Blue made the point, one of the bald lies I think about, like, you can be in bed with your wife and sleep next to your wife for 30 years. Every night you've been in bed alone. Because you're in your head with your thoughts, and that's who you have to live with. If your wife's nice and comfy and doesn't know you've been a dickhead, sleeping nice and comfy next to you, is it easy for you to sleep next to her after you've been fucking off and doing the wrong shit? No, you're in your head. You know what I mean? So it's a one-player game. We've talked about this. You know what I mean? And you have to lead your life, especially at a young age.
It always will be. It always will be a one-player game.
Even when you have people depending on you, yes, it can shift. You have to take care, because your kids are a part of you, and that's real. But like the overall idea behind this is just like, dude, you're the only one that's gonna have to live with the choices. If you knew you were supposed to go do something and you didn't try, you're gonna fucking kick yourself for the rest of your life. It's gonna be hard for you to sleep at night. And you don't wanna do that. So if you have any possibility or chance or even a window even if you really don't think you do,
Send it.
think about that again, and go for it, because guess what? Your mom and your dad, they're not gonna disown you because you went and you quit your fucking comfy job and you went after something you loved. And guess what? If you're happy in 3 years, you don't think that's all they care about deep down? You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a good vibe and you're feeling good about life, because they're adults and they know how hard it is to be happy and consistently happy. So if you're doing something that you love and it's not the same income, but you're happy, your parents would be just as happy, just as ecstatic. They'd be happier than seeing you work your ass off and miss shit with your kids and do all the shit that, they did themselves probably, So you gotta go for it. That's the answer. All right, next.
I already submitted a video, but I'd rather you guys use this one. For Johnny, what skills as a quarterback do you think have best translated to your life after football? What kind of leadership skills do you use in your business life and people skills, in your personal life?
Another very thoughtful question.
A good question. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is just I got a chance at Texas A&M to really like command, the utmost respect and attention from a group of an offense of guys that changed over the couple years. Just how these guys responded to me. I got to have a great leadership role there. I got to, I had guys that believed in me and got a chance to really look and know who I was as a dude and know that I would fight. And I think that, that's translated over in just how I'm taking my life right now. I think I'm just continuing to try and have that mindset of being a leader and what I can be these days. I wouldn't say our business is, we're not a logistics company.
We're not.
But
yeah, we got good ideas though.
I mean, we do, and we rock with it. We try and command the troops around here. I know when Comer's got the old cigarette in the air,
we're in for one.
We're in for a.
We're in for one.
We're in for a good treat.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I actually I never really had that thought when you. Being a guy, like a football team's a big team, 1. 2, there's a lot bigger, stronger guys on the roster. 3, like everyone's coming from different backgrounds. There's also a head coach. You're kind of like the player coach. It really does take a big set of communication skills and just overall personal skills to have the whole team buy into you as the leader, as even just if you're talking about the offense as the leader and having the confidence in you. It definitely, I never really thought of that, but that you are a real people person.
The locker rooms taught me a lot about meeting a ton of different people from different walks of life from all over the world. I've played for fucking feels like 1,000 football teams by now.
Yeah.
I've bounced around 1,000 leagues, going and continuing to try and play a little bit, but I've got to know guys from everywhere, and those people skills translate into my daily life. Every single place I go, every single thing I do. From business
you're like
to going out and about. Because, for me, I run into people, almost every day just in my daily life, whether it's going to eat or, going out or playing golf or whatever it is. So I interact with a lot of people, and I just feel like, having known as many people as I've got to and being in as many locker rooms has translated nice into business and everything else to just have a good feel and a good read for how people are. It's almost like you get a little, throughout my time of the rise and everything has taught me almost like a mini degree in psychology for the most part, and how people think and how people move. And it's funny, last night me and Blue were out, and you watch this guy walk at you and he's kind of doing the double triple take, and he makes the lap around the bar and then comes back the other way and does it again, and then kid runs up and like asks for a picture, and I'm kind of like, it's so goofy to me. I absolutely to my core cannot take a picture with you, just simply because I'd rather you just came up and asked.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just keep it
you might have been nervous though.
It's all good. Send it.
You might have just been a little nervous.
Just keep it a buck.
Yeah, they don't know what to expect. They probably think you're gonna be like, fuck off.
No, you gotta keep it a buck, bro. I'm the nicest dude in the world. Anybody can come up anytime, but
that's fact.
I don't like the just send it. If you got a question, come ask it. We're just people.
Here we go.
We're just guys.
Great segue into our next question.
The What's up, Steves? I'm Sink. Happy Memorial Day. Hope you are kicking it this weekend. Just wanted to stop by and tell you guys I'm a huge fan of the show. Johnny, first of all, used to be a huge fan of you as the football player. I'm an even bigger fan of you as the person now after listening to the show. Your positivity, your energy, everything you put out, super impactful to me, improves my life, so thank you for doing your thing. You too, Mike. Love your positivity, love your energy vibe, love the show. Love your music too. I've been bumping Rodman all weekend. Banger. Also, every girl I know, I feel like has these days on her playlist. Just goes to show it's a banger.
Turn up.
Bigger than you probably realize for this generation.
Turn
so
up.
a couple questions. First off, I want to start with you, Mike. As a music creator, I'm pretty into music. How does smoking impact your creative process? I heard like 'cause some rappers like A$AP Rocky will say like, nah, they don't like to smoke when they're making music, but like, just curious how it affects you. Johnny, also huge fan. Crazy stories I've read online. There was a story, apparently somebody said you beat Texas and then showed up to one of their frats after the game. I was just wondering if that's true, and if it is, can you confirm and maybe tell the story? But either way, love you guys. Would love to kick it with you guys, catch a vibe sometime in the future. Also, I'm a journalism, digital media major.
I was just gonna
so
say
if you want
that.
some content or help with content, I'd be happy to
I was
create.
just gonna
do
say
it
that.
for free. So, let know. Cheers, boys.
You're hired.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend. I'm feeling like Dennis Rodman 1997, so let's get it.
He's still going. This guy fucks. What a legend.
Yo, I gotta meet this guy.
Dude, that guy fucks.
You gotta meet this guy. I'll tell him a good story.
I was just gonna say he has a future in journalism.
I like the fact that he asks. For some reason, I was thinking about this today. Of one of the
Can I have another Heineken, Steve-O's?
better, kind of crazier stories from before the fame and then after. All of my boys, my whole life, I wanted to go to the University of Texas. It's where I wanted to go. It was my favorite school. I was a huge Vince Young fan. Colt McCoy was all about it.
Thank you, Bubba.
All of my boys from Kerrville, the majority of them went to the University of Texas. Like I said, I graduated early. My first spring, all my boys were a year older than me. They were already freshmen at Kappa Sig and Fiji and all these parties. And I grew up in Kerrville around a bunch of frat boys, and
You got a little frat in you.
I definitely had a lot more frat in me back in the day. Definitely high black Nike socks with Sperry loafers and basketball shorts every day.
I remember seeing the pictures when I
Every
first
day.
started seeing
I would have 15 pairs of Sperry's, and I hooped in these things. I did everything. These are my go-to.
You're such a dork for that.
Every day. Hey, you are what you are, Steve, and you know what you know.
You know
all
what you
I
know.
was a little podunk boy from fucking Kerrville.
Keep ashing on this expensive ass couch. Awesome.
So
Let's go to
hate see
commercial
it.
break.
Hate to see it. So my first semester in college, I'm rolling. I finally, save up enough money to drive down to Austin, go stay with my boys for a nice little frat weekend. I used to have this Fiji foam party and a bunch of parties on this
The foam
on
parties.
this weekend.
That was a
We loved it.
guaranteed you were at least getting a hand job at a foam party. There's no way you leave a phone party and then get a over the pants little OTP HJ. All right, back to you.
I go to this party and hanging around these bales of hay with all these mini pools out like at this frat house. And this guy comes up and he bumps into me. He's fucking wasted. Bumps into me and I step into the pool. I'm like fucking pissed. Stand back up and the guy comes back from getting a beer and fucking checks me again. Boom, back in the pool. At this point in time, I would probably just send it and snap on anybody. He's walking around the long way of the pools, and finally I just say, fuck it. Run right through each and every pool that's standing in my way and just absolutely hammer this fool.
Wow.
Arms out, falls right back into
must
the
have not
kiddie
even
pool.
known what the fuck.
I have no idea, bro. It's so bad. Still feel bad about this to this day.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, apologies. I'm a
I love
better
that
person for it
we've
now.
let off these. We've got some apologies off our chest these last few
Sometimes you
episodes.
just got to make amends, and this is one that I feel like I'm ready to make.
I'm happy you are.
Twist in the tail. Hit the guy, luckily the exit, you throw the punch and you see him fall and you just walk straight out the exit in the front door into the streets. Got a
Savvy.
little fight spillage out into the streets. We're getting a little brawl A couple of my boys, a couple of theirs. Let's see where it goes. That drama ends. Unfortunately, never getting in any kind of trouble. Hopefully, still can't get in any kind of trouble. Nevertheless, go back to College Station. Have another, semester of college through summer, win the starting job in fall, go on to win the Heisman in December. Next spring comes around. Gotta go back to the frat house. Have to go back to the frat party.
You're on your victory lap. You just won the
best time I'd
Heisman.
ever had. What do you mean? Nothing's different. I can still be a fucking party frat boy. Woo. Nobody's gonna know. Go to Austin. It's a Jersey party. You gotta have a fresh jersey. You gotta hit the dicks. The academy.
Tell me you wore a Manziel one.
I wore a Tim Tebow Jets jersey.
That's even better. That's so good.
Had a party in the Tebow jersey. No. Friday night rolls around. We're going to go back to that same house from the year before. Same bales of hay, same pools, same foam party there.
Place sounds like it fucks.
Good time. Just hanging out, catching the vibe. All out of nowhere, about 1,000 beers started raining down on me. All these guys from the frat are on the top row. Everybody just start chunking beers at me. They realize who I am, tell me to get the fuck out, and all hell breaks loose. And I remember waking up the next day and being on ESPN.
All over the place. Yeah.
Me walking out and one of my boys like draped around me and people just hailing fucking beers down on us. Didn't take kindly. Like I said again, I wholeheartedly apologize. End up the weekend, another party on the Saturday, hit it in the Tebow jersey, had a full send it to get back.
You double dipped the
Double
Tebow
down,
jersey?
different frat. We'll find one that'll accept us.
I love that.
We'll find one
you were
that'll-
riding that high on the
We'll
Tebow
find one
jersey.
that'll accept us. They won't take us there. We'll find another one the next day that'll take us.
Unbelievable.
So the good old send in the Tebow jersey, crazy how 1 year difference can make. And obviously they didn't take kindly to my antics from the year before.
Yeah. Was that when you first realized that you can't do shit? Well, you still went on to do fuck shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't
was
know.
gonna say you didn't
I
learn
don't
from it
think
anyway.
that's the point that I realized. I just felt like I had a fucking off weekend or something.
You're like, I had a bad weekend. Everyone's going to forget who I am next weekend.
Yeah, just brush it off. I'll be fine. And go straight back to the bars next weekend. Same thing happens. It was a never-ending long cycle of me trying to live a normal life and just completely raging whenever.
You literally
I
have more of
couldn't.
a passion for just being one of the guys.
I want to be one of the guys.
I know.
I want to. Now my life is at a point of where I'm getting back to normalcy a little bit. Still, it's different than it used to be.
You really do have a great, we're around the same level of notability right now in certain places.
Love that.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
But not in places that are college football haven and never,
If we go to a bar town that likes music and sports and shit
because I've been
like
doing
that,
it long enough, and you've been done for long enough. Where
it doesn't help that we do this podcast and then walk around together looking like fucking.
Wearing ball don't lie hats,
I wonder why
doing
people are
Chug
coming up to
Buds.
me today. Right?
Doing Chug Buds in the corner.
We were out the other day, two Chug Buds in our back pocket, have a ball don't lie hat on. I'm like, fuck, man.
They must
I don't know why I'm
we're
wearing this fucking hat.
They literally must think we're in character. Me and Johnny. Johnny's on a scooter. I'm fucking blasted, ripping Chug Buds in front of the Predators, going into the Predators game. They have to think we're cartoon characters at this point. But it just is what it is. It's the truth. Let's do one more.
I like his question though that he asked you.
Oh fuck! What was?
About does smoking impact your
for sure
creative process?
I literally had a thing where I went on a rant in the studio in Montana. I'm just baked in Montana. Had this beautiful view. I made so much good ideas there. And Kilmer comes in, he's just filming me, and I'm just I remember I approached this beat when I was sober at another place. Maybe I wasn't sober. I'm usually smoking while I'm working, to be honest. But regardless, I had a whole different take on this same beat. And then I was in Montana and heard the beat, and I had this whole other take on it. And I'm smoking, I was a great high, and I'm looking at the view, and I'm just it was where I had my first experience where I actually had I found the truth. And the truth is that like I don't take credit for the ideas, even though they're mine. And a lot of people have ego and like, yo, I come up with good ideas, I execute. I talk to Cody about this all the time. Like, forget, you're good at all that, but do you ever think about why you? Why does your mind, you don't think everyone else wants to be good at that? Why you? You know? And for me, now it clicked for me that day in Montana where I was just like, it's just about getting myself to a position to receive the ideas. Like, if I'm taking care of myself and I'm having fun, I feel like I'm living a balanced life and I'm overall have the right intentions and shit, and I know I'm working towards being better, whether it's meditating or taking care of my body or whatever it may be. When I'm high on that frequency and then I'm smoking, you know, we talk about the weed, like I literally said to Kilmer, I was like, you know, like this weed could get part of credit in this song. You know, and he's like, you'd be a legend if you just broke off some publishing to the blunt. But like, that'd be hard. I'm gonna sign the artist the blunt, and it's just gonna be me giving credit to the blunt. So I still get the publishing. But dude, you know, I really feel like when you talk about like getting rid of your ego, and I know that's a big conversation, and most people don't even realize that they're like completely identified with their ego. I used to be that person. That was it.
I don't know if, I mean, for me, it's just such a simple thing that is in everybody. Everybody has a little bit of it. And
of course.
I always view it as,
yeah.
you know, it's hard to get over yourself, bro. It's hard to take
think
yourself
about it.
out of the center of your world at every point in time.
We're seeing the world through these eyes, you know what I mean? So we have our own thoughts, and everyone else is just supporting like roles in our movies. So we're just like wired to expect that everything's revolving around us because that's what it looks like, you know? It's what it looks like through our eyes for the most part. And I was definitely one of those people. But now, you know, in regards to the weed, like I really do, I wouldn't smoke if I felt like it made me lazy and uninspired.
And I've changed the way that, you know, I've always been a smoker.
Yeah.
It's always something that I feel like has
How
helped
early
me.
were you smoking weed?
I mean, probably really didn't start smoking until, you know, 16 or 17, 18.
So that's what I didn't
there.
smoke till I was 21.
But I used to smoke in a way different fashion. I used to smoke to just blitz myself, and just now I smoke way more casually and way more as like almost type of like a meditating to calm my mind a little bit and relax at the end of a day and do things like that. You know, I used to be a wake up and smoke, and just that was what I like, just pushing it to the max, pedal to the metal on it all the time. And I found myself changing on that and using it as something, as a tool to really help myself and help myself slow my brain down and get away from the world for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, I need that. I need to get off this, I need to get out of this, and I need to just be for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just go sit in my backyard and just chill and just take some time to myself and catch a vibe with the world.
Yeah. And it's interesting, we're in a transformative time where the medicinal side of marijuana is like obviously being revealed, and it's becoming recreational, and it's normalized. Places we've been, it's very normalized. We smoke every day, all that type of shit. But it's interesting, we're in a funny phase because there's still some people on the internet like, yeah, talking about life, put down the pot, man.
Yeah, bro.
Like I literally, and I'm just like, they obviously live in like a place that hasn't legalized it yet, and like grew up in a family that said that's the devil's lettuce, you know, like you can't smoke that shit, like,
which is really insane. I do see it sometimes too, like these guys just
it's
sitting around
crazy.
smoking a blunt, talking like
bro, all the most successful people I know smoke, get high, do all types of shit, you know what I mean? Like it's actually, here's what I'll say about drugs in general. I know you just asked about weed, but even just like I do psychedelics, you know, I really go where the wave takes me. And I don't judge it.
I've been a big believer in that too, which is something that we haven't talked about very much. But the psychedelics and things of that nature, if used in a proper setting and doing it the right way, are very beneficial.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
They've been huge for me. Like my
Agreed.
change of just understanding like that it's a fucking big ass world, and like it's not just this little bubble that I've been stuck in, you know. And that was a huge. We went out.
That's a big realization that I think a lot of people don't get out. You know. Get in their mind for a while.
I know.
That they're in this little controlled environment and little bubble. I mean, on the big grand scheme of things, on the big picture thing, like you're a small dot in such a small thing in the entirety of the world.
People kind of on it. I talk about this in the Wine and Case shit. And people you'd say it's hippie stuff, but it's really genuinely how I feel. It's just like, dude, we're on a rock spinning through fucking space. Like, people forget the wonders of what's happening. When I talk about, I used to never look at a sunrise. Now I'm watching that shit and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? It looks like a movie to me. You know what I'm saying? And I think psychedelics had a role in that. I think, bro, I remember I was literally in Joshua Tree. We went out with the purpose, because I do psychedelics, but I just microdose mainly.
Of course, same.
I'm not really turning up ever on it.
No.
But we went out to Joshua Tree. I knew I was ready for like a breakthrough, and I had an amazing breakthrough. This music that I've made, this sound, the mic sound, where it's like this more feel-good shit. It's not all rap and like ego music. I used to just write about fucking bitches and money and shit. It's whack. I literally had the awakening there. I was listening to Casey Musgraves, who she was in our section the other night.
Yeah. And?
I didn't say anything to her.
Big Papa Steve was really, really hush.
Said absolutely nothing to her. I froze. I was doing Chug Buds. She walked by me with the other girl. I'm like, I look stupid right now. I don't want to talk to her. I look like an asshole.
He's got this mental doubt going through his head.
I hope she forgets.
Everything we talk about on the show, Mike's sitting there and gets around a girl like that and just loses all
What was
his
I doing?
Fluid,
I was like standing behind her like
motion.
I was like, John, oh man, fuck. Talk about crazy universe shit.
Oh.
One, you land, they're like, oh, the Preds hit you right away, like, come to the game. Playoff game.
Love that. Thank you, Nashville
shout out
Preds.
to them.
That was awesome. What a great environment.
Yeah, that was sick.
Anyways.
We go, me and Johnny get our tickets. We're with some tings, we're with some other people, you know. We're going to the Chuck Bud section. I literally said, like, we had 2 tickets and then there was a group of 4 people that had 4 tickets. So me and Johnny went our way and they went their way. And we literally like, yo, we're going to the Chug Bud section. We literally said that. We go up, people direct us. We're like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're like asking people like, oh, right up there. We go up to the suite section. We're like, cool, they got us suites. It's pretty sweet. No pun intended, guys. And we go into the wrong suite. Well, turns out we didn't even have a suite. We were on the wrong floor. We were on the wrong section. So we learned that. We go into the first suite. We're like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, we're thinking maybe they put us in a suite with some other people. So we're like, are we supposed to mingle? Yeah, we're feeling it out. They're looking at us. I'm like, oh, they noticed Johnny, which they did. But I'm thinking, my head goes to that. But dude comes over, big ass dude. He comes over. He's like, turns his hat around. It's fucking Chug Bud hat.
What are the chances of that?
I literally hit Foley and I was like, yo, how many Chug Bud hats have we sold? Because we only sold them on the Chug Bud site and only for a limited time. He's like 112. So the random suite that we walk into after I just said, we're going to the Chug Bud section, just making a joke, because we had Chug Buds in our pockets.
Definitely.
For the blind, we had faith that we would end up on the Jumbotron, maybe they would feature you or whatever, and we were gonna rip a Chug
And
Bud.
we ran into a little problem when we were getting beers too. Nashville, God bless their little hearts, in their stadium, they sell Mondo fucking beers.
The fucking water,
like
big boys.
Liters of fucking beer. So we go to put the Chug Bud on, as universal and just groundbreaking as this thing is.
It is groundbreaking.
Fits on a small can, fits on a big can, except the really, really big can.
Yeah.
And these things wouldn't fit. So luckily we had to go down to a couple more shops and find a couple small beers. I think we...
So we're literally walking in, like imagine like a guy with a Chug Bud hat. Mind you, we've sold 100 of them in the world. We walk in, me and Johnny Manziel mosey into his suite. We have like 8 beers between us. Literally we're just holding beers. And the dude turns his hat around. I'm like, I literally like, yeah, I like the system glitch, like the simulation glitch.
I geeked on it too.
I geeked on it and I was like, we were at, so anyways, we take pictures.
Give the guy a Chug Bud.
Yeah, we take pictures
one,
with him. We do it. He does a Chug Bud, I do one. Look at the baby, look at the baby. We take pictures. We walk out. We're like, oh, fuck, we got to go up. All right, we're going to go up to our seats because we weren't in the suites. We walk by the next suite. I noticed the dude, fucking James Neal is his name, right?
Yep.
James Neal. And you had just played golf with him that day. You had missed it. So I'm like, yo, that's your boy right there.
Oh, shout out to Neeler. He's a legend.
Yeah, he is a legend. And I'd never met him in person, but I'd spoke with him, cool dude. And then Kelly James, shout out Kelly James, legend. Played a show with him 10 years ago.
Yeah, if you don't know Kelly James, man, what a guy.
Yeah, great guy, got fucks. We were having a heart-to-heart in there. It was a great time. His dad was there. Fucking then Casey Musgraves stands up, walks over and just looks at me with a doll face. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like that whole span of events was just like, whoa.
It was a good night.
I take them as winks from the universe that like, hey man, you're doing the right thing.
I always hate going and getting, going to a game, team invites you to a game, you go to it, and then they have a, soul-crushing overtime loss.
Soul-crushing.
To get knocked out of the playoffs.
Soul-crushing.
I know I didn't bring the bad energy into the building. So.
We did. How many chug buds did we do in that section?
A couple, more than one.
No, we did. The overall section was double digits for sure.
The thing I like is introducing the chug bud to people.
Yeah, I mean we might as well say it now. Johnny is a part owner in chug bud. It's a new. Let's give a round of applause from the gallery. I had this epiphany that you are.
Luckily, me and Blue are chug bud.
You are chug bud. We all are chug bud in our own way, but like you are chug bud, So the only guys that I'll let into the company, you have to be a chug bud.
Of course.
So it's good to have you on board.
That's a great honor, Steven.
I know the Heisman's cool, but
oh, this is pretty great.
To be the face of chug bud,
great.
one of the faces. That's the highest honor. You guys didn't do chug buds?
We don't have any. We've been over this before.
Did you give them out to every broad in Nashville?
That's what you're supposed to do. How is this called product management?
Sure.
You got to get it out to the masses.
And that's why you're on the roster.
Yeah, got to be. I'm proud to be.
Do you want to go to Broadway?
Let's go to Broadway, shall we?
Yeah. Cheers.
Bottom line, hey, hey, hey. Bottom line, shoot your shot, yeah. Bottom line, shoot your shot, yeah. Never has. I like it a lot, yeah.